everyone. I'm going to read you a story today called Somebody and the Three Blairs. Sorry it's a bit scruffy because I bought it second hand from a library. Somebody and the Three Blairs. One Sunday morning, in a small house on the edge of town, a family was sitting down to breakfast. There was Mr. Blair, Mrs. Blair and Baby Blair. "It's such a fine morning," said Mr. Blair. "I think we should take a walk in the park." "What a good idea," said Mrs. Blair. "Feed our ducks," said Baby Blair. So they took their coats and a bag of breadcrumbs and they set out for the park. While they were gone, somebody came to the door. Somebody knocked, and when no one answered, somebody tiptoed in. He sniffed and sniffed. He looked at the breakfast table. "This food is too dry," said somebody. "This food is too noisy," said somebody. "But this food is just right." He looked for somewhere to sit. "This seat is too hard," said somebody. "This seat is too wobbly," said somebody. "But this seat is just right." He looked for something to play with. "This game is too noisy," said somebody. "This game is too cold," said somebody. "But this game is just right." He looked for something to drink. "This rain is too hot," said somebody. "This pond is too small," said somebody. "But this stream is just right." He looked for somewhere to sleep. "This bed is too big," said somebody. "This bed is too small," said somebody. "But this bed is just right." When Mr. and Mrs. Blair and Baby Blair came back from the park, they looked at the breakfast table. "Somebody's been eating my crunchies," said Mr. Blair. "Somebody's been eating my crispies," said Mrs. Blair. "All gone," said Baby Blair. They looked around the room. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair," said Mr. Blair. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair," said Mrs. Blair. "Bust," said Baby Blair. They noticed the mess. "Somebody's been emptying the cupboard," said Mr. Blair. "Somebody's been raiding the fridge," said Mrs. Blair. "Naughty," said Baby Blair. They went upstairs. "Flood!" shouted Mr. Blair. "Help!" shouted Mrs. Blair. "Water!" shouted Baby Blair. They looked in the bedroom. "It's a burglar," said Mr. Blair. "It's a monster," said Mrs. Blair. "He's a big teddy," said Baby Blair. "It's escaped from the zoo," said Mr. Blair. "It's escaped from the circus," said Mrs. Blair. "It's escaped down a drain pipe," said Baby Blair. "Somebody phone the police," said Mr. Blair. "Somebody call the fire brigade," said Mrs. Blair. "Somebody gone home," said Baby Blair. "Bye-bye. Come and play tomorrow." I hope you enjoyed that story, and I wonder if it reminded you of another story you know. Bye.